We're here in the press box of Keeneland with the one and the only Kurt Becker, the voice of Keeneland. And man, you have a stunning view today. I love to see the sunshine instead of that rainy day we had yesterday. It is absolutely beautiful out there and a perfect day for racing. So you've been here for several years. Can you tell us what your job entails?
I have. This is my 29th season as the track announcer at Keeneland. And really, you talk about the view, and it is. It's a great view, no question about it. It can be challenging for a track announcer, at least for this track announcer, because we're facing west. So at the start of the day, the sun is up toward the far turn. Throughout the day, it works its way down the backstretch. So sometimes on a day like this, I would rather have cloud cover instead of kind of calling races like that. The other thing is we have two finish lines here, the short stretch and the full-length stretch. And I'm sometimes reluctant to call a close finish. I had somebody tell me one time that I would have called Secretariat's Belmont a photo finish or too close to call. But in my defense, we kind of sit right between the two finish lines. So we try to do our best.
So speaking of that, what do you think is the most difficult race you've ever had to call?
I think the most difficult race is a general rule, and it's always in the spring meet, and we have one today right off the bat, the 2-year-old maiden specials, because 12 horses going in the gate, 2-year-olds that have never raced before. I've never seen these horses before. You've got about 50 seconds or so to give every horse a call. With that said, the first race today is named the Bassett in honor of the late Ted Bassett, who, of course, was a former president, our chairman emeritus for years, and it's certainly a meaningful event to get things started for all of us here at Keeneland.
So which race has been your favorite in the past?
I've always said that maybe the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup during the October meet. I think what I like about that is the way it's a standalone event. It's typically the only stakes on the card. It's our last grade one of the year, 3-year-old fillies on the grass, most of which are not going on to the Breeders' Cup. So they lay it all on the line, and it seems like that always ends up being a terrific race.
Now, we're racing today on a Monday. That is very unheard of around here. Have you remember any other days that or any other times in the past years that we've raced on a Monday or Tuesday?
I cannot recall. Now, with regard to the Ashland and the Bluegrass, for many years, those were weekday races. When it comes time for the Bluegrass tomorrow, that was a Thursday race that was run about 9 days before the Derby for years. I used to hear locals talk about how they would cut class. I had a guy tell me last night that he remembered that he and a buddy of his had skipped class back in the 60s to come to the Bluegrass on a Thursday, and the principal called the father of one of those guys and said, "Hey, are you aware that your son is not in school today?" And the response from the father was, "Yeah, I'm aware. It's Bluegrass Day. What do you expect?" So it's kind of brought back some fun memories about that era.
You know, I think I might approve of those priorities personally. You know, got to have race day when it's race day.
Absolutely, and thank goodness we are back racing.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for everything you've done for Keeneland for so many years. It would not be the same without you, so we are honored to get to talk to you today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, back to y'all.